Hello everyone, my name is Gus.
Hi, I'm Woody.
Today we have a video that was suggested again from our viewers in the channel. I still don't understand what is it that they watch or how they get these suggestions. But apparently this covers people that used to live in caves. Apparently
Well, we know people used to live in caves, so I don't know where you're going, but okay.
Yeah, but apparently this is like civilizations, like full on living in. I don't know. I don't know everything about it, but I want to watch. But I'm already.
You mean like
I'm already
advanced
skeptical.
civilizations that built pyramids and stuff?
Allegedly,
that came from another.
That's okay. Let's watch.
Hi everyone, it's Katrina and welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into a fascinating mystery, the possibility of advanced civilizations existing before the last ice age.
Oh boy.
I mean,
we
we
often
know
think of
it
history
did.
starting with the Egyptians or the Mesopotamians. But what
Exactly.
if I told you there might have been complex societies thriving thousands of years earlier? We'll
I
be
wouldn't believe
exploring
you.
intriguing evidence like ancient structures that
There's
I would
no
say
evidence.
that's not new news.
There's no evidence.
I'm already getting killed in the comments for pausing and agreeing with her.
predate the Ice Age, mysterious maps depicting ice-free continents, and unexplained artifacts that challenge our conventional timeline.
What about that?
Could there be a hidden chapter in
Okay.
human history?
Let's see.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
The lost civilization of the Sunken
This
Cave.
is awesome.
Ancient cave art? Check. Underwater entrance? Check. Lost civilizations? Double check.
No.
I
Koskera
like
Cave
her.
has
She's
it all
awesome.
and then some. Let's dive in. Welcome
Alright,
to
this is
Koskera Cave, a place filled with challenges, mystery, and scientific breakthroughs.
Mm.
These caves remained a secret until 1991 when tragedy struck.
Wait, they are a secret until 1991? Nobody found, where are these caves that nobody found them till 1991?
That I don't know.
By the way, 91 sounds like it was yesterday. It was like 1,000 years ago.
1991 is like, didn't that? What are we in?
What were you doing in 1991?
1991? I was already working and out of college. But I was like, I remember, I was like 5 years out of college. It wasn't that
Yeah.
long ago, basically, for me.
I know. It seems like it was yesterday. I was 8 in 91.
That's scary. I mean, I don't want to say how old I was.
You know
I
what's
was already
funny?
very old.
You know what's funny about 1991?
By the way, everybody, I'm 60.
I
I
app-
don't know if I've ever told everybody. I know you guys thought I was in my 20s, but I'm 60.
Now the comments are, you look young for 60. Anyway, so I applied for a job like years ago. I think it was 2010. And they ran a background check, all that stuff. That's good. No problem. But then they reach out to me. Or when I go to the interview or whatever, they're like, something popped up in your background check. And we just want to make sure this is not you. And I was like, okay. Like, what happened? And he's like, did you serve time in jail for rape
No.
in California in
Wow.
1991? And I'm like, well, I was 8. So, no. That was not me serving jail time in California in 91 for rape. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, I kind of can understand it, and I don't know
No.
if this is going to come out wrong, but
That's-
I'm going to say it anyway because sometimes things are misinterpreted.
Okay.
Can you imagine how many Gus Gonzalez's there are? Just in your family, there's like 500 Gus's.
I get it.
Right? Everybody's Gus. Probably if I look back in your lineage, has
Yeah.
anybody had a different name other than Gus?
That's okay. But the point is, I moved to the States in 2005. I've been in this country for 20 years now, since
Right.
2005. In 91, I was 8 years old in South America. Why would you look at my date of birth and be like, it's plausible that this guy was in jail for rape
Yeah. That's
in
weird.
California? All right.
3 divers lost their lives in the sunken tunnel leading to the main cavern. Only then did the world learn of this prehistoric wonder. 3 deaths should make it clear to you how difficult entering Koskera Cave really is.
Well,
The
especially
cave
with a
Where is
is
single tank.
located 120
Where
feet
is it?
below the
I
surface.
don't know.
Its only entrance being a perilous passageway through pitch black waters.
But where we should go.
Imagine swimming
I
through a
know.
dark tunnel, hoping
Look
you
at that.
don't bump
That's
into
not.
anything
That's a computer
or
thing. bro.
anyone.
This
The
is
most
not real.
amazing part
That
of
was not
Koskera
real.
Cave is its history. Neolithic expert Jean
Okay, here we go.
Courtin was the first
Jean
to confirm
Courtin.
it as a real home for Paleolithic humans starting about 29,000 years ago. That is a big date. But what is even weirder is that humans kept returning to the cave over the centuries.
Okay.
Can
What's
I
so
tell you
weird?
something that is you're gonna roll your eyes. So I'm gonna already prepare you for it. Can I tell you?
I'll try my poker face.
Just try your best to,
All right, here we go. I'm
not
gonna look into the camera.
to
Go
be
ahead.
just respectful.
Mm-hmm.
In the Jewish religion, and I'm Jewish.
Okay.
So I don't know how many subscribers we just lost, but so listen.
Okay, go ahead.
We 100% believe that our Bible, was the written word of God and
The Torah, yeah.
the Torah.
Okay,
And
go ahead.
that we're only in the year 5,000 something. I don't remember what that is. Meaning that even with all the science that can date artifacts or date rocks or things like that,
Yeah.
we believe the world was created old.
By
And that-
Sinu or who
Can
was
you
it?
just let me fit? So
I
the,
didn't
so
roll
the
my-
world
okay.
itself. So when they say it's 27 or 270,000, whatever they just said, we think it's only the 5,000 plus years old. There was no world. This did not exist. There was nothingness here. The planet was not here beyond that. I don't remember 5,500 years or so ago, and that is from. Who do you think told us that? Just say it. Look up.
Look, I was respectful till now. Let's just
That's where we got it from. Word for word, valve for valve. That's what we believe. So I just wanted to see if you could remain respectful through that bit of knowledge that I've now opened your mind up to.
wow.
And so far you have. You're drifting. But
I'm
you did pretty
losing-
good. Yep, you're losing it.
losing neurons by the second here.
Scientists say Kosker Cave was visited over a vast period of about 15,000 years.
It
It's
didn't
one of
exist.
the most extensively dated caves that
Because
is
of what I
also
said.
home to impressive works of prehistoric art.
This is real.
First, there was the Gravettian culture
Cool.
who lived in the cave from 27,000 to 20,000 BC. Imagine the same culture living in the same place for 7,000 years.
Okay.
The cultures that
I know,
evolved from
it's a
here
problem.
also lived
How
in
old
the
is
cave for
Egypt?
thousands of
Egypt is the oldest country in the world. I think.
It's
I
not
don't
more
know.
than
I didn't Google this.
5,000 plus years
That's-
because of what I just told you.
Okay, we need to find out. Hold on. I'm pretty sure Egypt is the oldest country in the world, like recognized as a country. Okay, so let's see.
Are you sure it's older than like some of the age, like
Hold on,
China?
I'm just gonna. Hey Siri, how old is Egypt? Is 103 years? That's impossible. Okay.
Yeah.
Siri, you're
that may
stupid.
be. It may have been something. I don't know. I don't know
No,
if it
it
was.
says it was
official.
established in 1922. The World War One was before that.
Now ask how old is China?
No,
Just
Chi-
ask
okay.
it. How old is China?
Hey Siri, how old is China? 75 years. No way. This is Siri
Huh?
is Siri's
Seriously?
drunk today.
Okay.
What's going on? All right, hold on. Let's see. Huh? How old is
We
Egypt?
better hit play because the people are already.
No. See, roughly 3,000 years. Ancient Egypt, as an unified civilization, existed for roughly 3,000 years, from 3,100 BC to 30 BC. So that's 3,000 years before the current, like before Christ, BC. However, human presence in the Nile valleys goes as early as 400,000 years ago. So it's been a while.
So
okay.
you're not agreeing with what I said at the beginning.
I mean,
That's the problem.
I'm just
It's
saying.
really all conflicted. It really
if
is
my
among
math
all the
is my
religions.
if my math is right, it's over 5,000 years that Egypt has been a country. That's a lot.
years.
Yeah,
Before
my
things
people
get
were
too
finally let
prehistoric,
go.
Wait, that's
you
James
should
May.
know these were not Neanderthals or Denisovans.
That was you.
They were
That's
Homo sapiens,
Homo sapiens.
identical to
You're
modern
Homo sapien.
humans.
What?
Contrary to
I
popular
don't know, I
belief,
just felt like
prehistoric
it was
people
an
did
insult.
not live deep inside caves, but near the cave mouth, under natural shelters. It was
Yeah.
a lot easier than
Is that a
building
rabbi?
house.
You see, they absolutely. I have to put my people in there like that because we.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, we were the ones that enslaved in Egypt. That's what's coming up is Passover, where we finally got out of there.
Okay,
Pharaoh
let's-
let us go. We split the Red Sea. Not we, but
I don't know how
big guy
quick
split the Red
people are
Sea, and then we.
tuning out of this video.
I don't know where we're all over the place today.
And deep, deep into the cave is kind of scary and dark. Okay, but what about all the water? Today, the cave's entrance is submerged, but that wasn't the case 30,000 years ago.
Let's go.
That's
Back
probably
then, the
right.
sea level was almost 400 feet lower, and the cave was situated a couple miles from the coast.
That's how we got
There
the
was no
stalactites
water near this thing.
and
It's
stalagmites.
mind-boggling how much things change, isn't it? It's amazing how different the landscape used to be. This part of France resembled an open
France.
steppe with juniper shrubs, pine forests, and a cold climate similar to present-day Iceland.
Dude, I'll go to France.
This explains
Yeah,
the
but it's
depiction
cold.
of animals like the saiga antelope and the giant deer called
Look at that.
megaloceros on the cave walls.
You
Kosker
knew that,
Cave contains over
megaloceros.
230 animal
What
figures,
Dilophosaurus?
covering
Yeah,
12 different
Snuffleupagus.
species. While many are common in prehistoric art,
Isn't that a
this
turtle?
cave features
Penguin.
some rare and unique
Could be.
depictions of marine animals.
What?
Sea creatures rarely appear
a
in
crab.
cave art, regardless of where you look
Oh,
in
you
the
do know
world.
it's marine
But
life.
here, archaeologists have found monk seals, great
What?
auks, fish, and
That
jellyfish.
wasn't a monk seal.
What
Come
about aliens in the cave art? So far, no
Stop it.
dice. Sorry to disappoint. It's mostly horses,
at that.
deer, ibex, antelopes, bison, and sea creatures.
But no aliens.
on. You know how I knew
So-
this was in Europe? Because of the horses.
What? Okay.
There weren't any horses in America.
None?
None.
You're positive they didn't cross over where like the land connected? And...
No.
Okay.
The conquistadors came here when they brutally murder everyone in here. And yeah, so imagine you were one of those like Indians, and I call them Indians because that's what we call them, but that's
They're Native
wrong.
Americans, I think, is the
That's
more
wrong.
appropriate
That's
term.
because we call them Indians because Columbus thought he arrived to India like an idiot and said, "You guys are all Indians." And they're like, "No, we're not Indians." It's like, "I'm going to call you Indian for years and years and years. We'll never fix it." So we call them Indians. But
This
the point
is the smartest you've ever been.
the
today.
point is, they got down from those boats with horses, and the indigenous people were like mind blown. Like, what are these creatures? They had nothing, donkeys, nothing that looked like horses. So that's how you knew it was in Europe, because there's what's it called, hieroglyphics, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Hieroglyphics.
I know how to say it in Spanish, but and by the way, that's another life hack I'm gonna give you. If you ever don't know a word, just say I don't know how to say it in English.
Well, that's
you,
like a
you
euro.
sound
Is
like
it
you're
a euro
bilingual.
or-
Even if you're not bilingual, just say that, and you will sound smarter.
Kosker Cave was home to a real civilization of real cave people, and they thrived here for thousands of years. This place was poppin'.
The Tamana civilization.
Oh boy.
There is a theory that there once was a universal civilization
This
that
is where
ruled
I
the
can
entire
add
globe
expertise.
after the Great Flood. This has been proposed by Hungarian researcher in Hawaii
The
by the
Great
name
Flood.
of Dr. Vomos Toth Bator, who calls this civilization Tamana. The
Okay.
name is based on the fact that the word itself, Tamana, has allegedly been found in over 5,000 different places in the world. In 149 different countries, there is a mountain, river, or abandoned city called Tamana. These places are often separated by thousands of miles, and they date as far back as 13,000 years.
Which is
Dr.
impossible,
Bator
according
says
to
that
you.
in places like
Correct.
India and Africa, Tamana often means strong place or stronghold. He believes it's a reference to the fortress built by the Tamana people as they spread across the
What
world
Tamana
and
people? What are you
conquered
talking about?
hostile tribes. His belief is that the Tamana people started in Saharan Africa. After glaciers in Antarctica and the Arctic melted,
I like that. I like that she says his belief is like one guy is the only person in the planet that believes this. This guy. Yeah, so there's a word that they
Well,
found in also the stop on the stop signs is found in 5,000 different places in the world. Like what does that matter? That the word Tamana is
I'm feeling, again, very close-mindedness from you, and there is 2 guys in the world that believe this.
okay. Is the
And
Torah
you're not one of them.
Does the Torah
obviously.
does the Torah speak about the great flood?
Yes, Noah's Ark.
Is it in the Torah? Yeah.
Every animal ever in existence was put on Noah's Ark, of course.
And all the boats didn't work in the world.
No, because
He
we
was
had
the
to
only
wipe
boat.
out. We were all just savage people having orgies and doing all kinds of horrible
That's
things.
terrible.
Wipe them out. Noah, all the animals, couple, things going on,
Mm-hmm.
and repopulate with goodness.
Yep. Where did all the black people come from?
Well, I didn't say that Noah was whether or not he was white or African American. Like,
right.
I didn't talk about that.
All right.
I don't know. That may have been.
This is, by the way, Joe Rogan raised these questions. What about the people with boats? Did their boats not work?
correct. They didn't have boats. They were just wiped out. Purposely,
Makes-
right where that was, God controlled the waters and destroyed that.
Makes perfect nonsense.
13,000 years ago, a flood spread across the world and destroyed civilization. In the vacuum, the Tamana spread out of Africa and moved all over the
Tamana
world.
survived
Unfortunately,
flood.
though, there aren't very many believers in the theory. Dr. Bator claims that he reached his conclusions by looking at the proper names of places all across the globe. Yet other researchers haven't had the same luck. The doctor
No,
also
don't
hasn't
say.
revealed the thousands of places he claims once shared the same name in the ancient past. However, he's given a few examples that do seem to substantiate his theory.
Yeah, what
He
about
says
this?
the Tamana people came from the great ancestor of Noah,
Oh.
who was named Ma. And as examples,
Okay.
he points to the Mande people of the Manding, as well as the
The Manding?
Magari of Sumeria and the Magyar. Experts say the
He-
doctor
yeah,
is
we're just
finding
throwing words now.
coincidences where there aren't any, but others think he's onto something, and that there really could have been a global civilization 13,000 years ago. And now for number 7.
What?
But first, I want to give a big shout out to RS Don Call and the Kimberly Blair.
All right, hold
Thanks
on.
so much for watching and supporting Origins Explained.
Yes.
If you are new here, be
Subscribe
sure to
if you
subscribe
like this
and join the
content
family.
and want
The
to learn
Empires of Atlantis.
more about.
In Carl
The
Brugger's
Tamanas.
book, The Chronicles of Akakor,
Oh, boy.
he claims that Atlantis was a mighty civilization that went to war with another civilization known as
Tamana?
Lemuria.
Oh.
In the end, they both perished because they went nuclear.
Oh,
the
boy.
legend of Lemuria has been
Okay.
around for thousands of years.
Now we're
the
t-
land
now
of
this is
Lemuria
Aquaman.
was supposedly a huge continent between North America and Asia and the vast Pacific Ocean. At the same time,
Oh, boy.
Atlantis was a continent on the other side of North America and the Atlantic Ocean. There was also a land called Mu, which stretched from Australia up through Southeast Asia. Mu
Wow.
touched India and supposedly swept through China and into Mongolia and Russia. These were the 3 big players in the supposed war that took place over 12,000 years ago. According to Plato, who wrote about Atlantis 2,300 years ago,
Yeah, why
the
would
city
Plato have
sank
written
either
about it?
12,000 or 13,000 years.
Well, I'm asking a simple question. What was Plato writing about if this didn't exist?
I don't know. People write. They're inspired by stuff, and they write fiction books every day. Like,
Well,
what do you mean?
Not the greatest philosopher ever. He doesn't write fiction.
Okay.
Before today, and according to strange Hindu tablets that were allegedly discovered by researcher
Allegedly.
James Churchward in 1868,
Huh,
Mu
magically.
sank at the same time as Atlantis. Lemuria, according to legends, suffered an identical fate at the same time. This seems to suggest something huge happened that obliterated the 3 global powerhouses of the prehistoric world. However, it's all just legend.
Probably
and no
COVID.
physical evidence has been found that Atlantis, Lemuria, or Mu ever existed.
No.
Then again, there wouldn't be much left of them if they were destroyed by an
Exactly,
atomic
that's why.
weapon. If every nuclear weapon in the world was launched right now, society would be completely obliterated.
That's why.
And in 10,000 years, most traces of our buildings would be gone since they were vaporized by
Perfect
nuclear
explanation.
weapons. The theory is that such a scenario already unfolded 13,000 years ago.
Wow.
Human society had apparently already advanced far beyond how advanced we are right now. And for hundreds of thousands of years, the
that.
Atlanteans
Wait,
lived
is that
in
me?
peace
No.
and harmony. And so too did the other dominant civilizations of the world. But then the Anunnaki got
Oh, boy.
involved. Allegedly, the Anunnaki
Okay.
were reptilian
You see?
aliens
This
who
is
came
going
down from space and
in the
started
right
to
direction.
interfere in the
Downhill
politics
so
of the
fast.
global
Look,
civilization.
listen.
The Atlanteans became corrupt and went to war, and the conflict between them and Lemuria ended in atomic destruction.
Okay.
All evidence of their civilizations was wiped out like dust in the wind. The
I
few
knew it.
survivors then started
Wow.
a long process of bringing civilization back to the world. This is where the theory of global civilization comes from. It's said that after Atlantis was destroyed, the survivors rebuilt pockets of civilization. This would explain why there are so many similarities between the ancient cultures of the world. The Atlanteans already knew how to build pyramids and other impressive structures. However, as time wore on, the war of the past was forgotten, and the great civilizations faded into myth.
Oh my
Keep in
God.
mind that none of this can be proved. All mainstream scientists are pretty much convinced of evolution, which dismisses any potential for a worldwide civilization with nuclear capabilities. There could
Obviously.
definitely have been a global civilization 13,000 years ago, but science says they likely
don't know.
weren't survivors of atomic annihilation.
What is this? Why?
I'm not.
This is
there's
most
not-
of the
I'm not
comments.
freaked out.
You want me to
by-
guess? Most of the comments are gonna be, guys, don't react to this garbage. Those are the comments. The funny thing about those comments is that if we watch the videos before we react, then the comments become, don't watch the videos before you react. So when we don't watch them, they tell us they're garbage. But when we watch them, they tell us we shouldn't have watched it.
What I think is that there's a combination somewhere of some truth, some then elaboration, and I don't know where that really is. I'm not so close-minded to say
You keep saying
science is like, as I keep saying that, as you know, I'm just saying there's somebody here that doesn't want to accept that maybe we did have more knowledge at one time and lost that knowledge over time.
Yeah,
Where did
and
that
nuclear-
advanced knowledge come from? I don't know. Were they just super smart and then we lost it, or was it given to us by another more intelligent species, or
Sure.
where is that truth? Like, was all of this stuff, the Red Sea party, Noah's Ark, was it all just huge imagination?
Yes.
All of it. We built in giant,
Correct.
huge worldwide religions, which includes Christianity, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, all the religions.
Well, this is not
I mean,
religion talk.
Which
it's
one?
dive talk.
No,
But-
I know, but it does kind of roll into that. Where does science and religion cross over to where? What? I think we've there's sort of a boundary of where some of it is truth and it got mixed with elaboration. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not so like, you know,
I
I'm not
like-
so like you where I'm just completely
That's not. Don't
close-minded
say
and
that. Don't say that. I'm saying.
well, I'm not
the question
insulting
that
you, but you're
posed-
very narrow-minded and think that,
That
it's
is
only
not.
one way.
Don't
That's
say
not an
that.
insult.
Don't say that.
You're
What
more
I'm saying is.
fact, like,
What I'm saying is, first of all, the whole thing that I'm narrow-minded, while you describe the most open-minded thing at the same time, it makes no sense. Like, you can't say that I'm narrow-minded where I'm saying there are other things that could have done that. Like the pyramids, for example. Who built it? Humans built it over a long, long time. Then your comment is like, no, aliens did it.
No.
Well, how come nobody questions the pyramids in Mexico then?
What
Because
I'm saying
Mexicans
is-
built them.
what
Nobody doubts the Mexican built those things. Only the ones in Egypt.
because they're mathematically perfect and they're in their alignment and
Are
their
you saying the
precision
Mexican
and
pyramids are dumb?
No, I'm not.
That is bad.
I'm not.
That's what you just said.
I don't
That's
say
terrible.
what I just said. I don't know enough about those Mexican pyramids. What I do know is the ones that were built by Jewish slaves are perfect. How we were able to cut those rocks and make it so precise, besides being whipped for
all I'm
thousands
saying
of
is,
years, I don't know.
I cannot-
Where did we get the information?
Listen, I cannot stand here and say I don't understand exactly how they built it, but they did. I don't need to understand it all to marvel at the fact that these structures exist and humans built it. And it was very hard to do, very complicated, and they built it.
I agree with that.
So you cannot say I'm closed-minded when I say that. When I say that
part you just said, I think is true.
Okay,
that
but-
I do also marvel at the fact that humans, got the technology and the ability,
Okay, now,
and the
see, this
information
is-
to build it. They
that was-
got that from
okay.
somewhere.
What I was saying earlier is, you mentioned, where is the line? Where should we believe? Whatever. You started going in this thing, and then, you said something like, I never pay attention to what you're saying or whatever. But the point is, people can answer in the comments below and leave their thoughts.
I know I'm going to get shredded on this. I know, but some people that are open-minded and willing to embrace, which may not be the majority of the comments, will say,
What?
we don't know. That's what they're going to say. And that it is plausible. It's not impossible that it came from something we don't understand.
I understand, and I agree that if there was a nuclear apocalypse or whatever, we're going to be returned back to the Stone Age. That's why there's a saying that says, I don't know what weapons we'll use for World War III, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. There's the saying, and that is true, because if there are any survivors after a nuclear apocalypse, it will be back in like the Stone Age. Right? I get that. But this whole concept that there is these civilizations that were global powers that have nuclear potential, lived underwater, like all this stuff, and then they kill each other, and then they left a bunch of clowns behind that didn't even know what to do, and now we're here. Like, what? And that's what she kept saying. There's this one guy who has a theory because nobody else agrees with it. It makes no sense.
Not nobody.
Yeah, well, most people, I would say 99.999% of people, let's just say everyone but that guy and you, for simplicity, agrees.
I mean that's funny.
With that theory.
Insulting me like that, that is funny. But
just like most people,
I don't know.
Most people agreed that the guy that we had talking about his near-death experience was completely on a journey in some of those 50s mushrooms or whatever they used to eat back in the day.
Now, you do realize how insulting you're... And
I'm going to leave it right here in case you haven't seen it. But that
you
was
were going to get a
that
lot,
guy.
But you were getting a lot of praise probably throughout this one until the end.
That's never happened.
And you fell off the cliff.
That's not okay.
You went down the path of Shredsville.
No.
I just want to open up.